Hey Aquarius, thanks for checking out your weekly forecast. This is for the 21st through the 27th for Aquarius Sun, Moon, and Rising. You might stumble upon this video outside of the time I just mentioned. That's fine. You're going to find it whenever you're meant to hear the messages. Keep in mind it is a general reading for the collective. Not every single message is going to resonate, but take what does and leave what doesn't. So without further ado, my dears, my darlings, let's see what is coming up for Aquarius Sun, Moon, and Rising for February 21st through the 27th. One more shuffle here. Let's get right on into it, my dears. So the first card that you guys have coming up is the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is oftentimes really associated with fast-moving energy. It can be communication, travel, going into something with strong, passionate emotion. It's very fast, swift-moving energy, okay? Now, a lot of the times I see this come up when blockages are over, or in this case, I feel obstacles, okay? When I say block, I'm usually referring to a block inside of yourself, like a chakra is blocked, or there's a limited belief, or there's a cord that needs to be cut. But in this instance, Aquarius, I feel like some of you have been coming across some red tape or obstacles which were very much outside of yourself, right? Like you needed something to change or something to be moved out of the way. And I feel with this Eight of Wands, it's being moved out of the way. And now things can move along. Things can move along nicely. I feel for some of you, there was an unjust decision made about a situation, and that decision is being overturned. I don't know if this is a legal situation for some of you, or if it's something at work, or something was handled incorrectly, or your landlord came after you for something and you reported it, and then they had to undo what they did. I don't know what it is. It's a general reading, so it'll be different for different ones of you. But I feel there was a decision that was made in which you felt it was like tying your hands, like your hands were tied. And I'm seeing that coming undone. Coming undone. You're no longer under that limitation or that rule, okay? Maybe some of you were on probation at work and the probation is finally being lifted and they're deciding that they're going to let you stay. But something in which you felt confined, and I feel like that's being removed. The next card that's coming up here for Aquarius is the King of Swords. It's you. Welcome to the party, Aquarius. Your party. So King of Swords obviously is going to be air sign energy, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. You could be dealing with another air sign, but you guys know that in the weekly forecasts, I like to focus more on you and less about other people. So when we're coming into King of Swords energy, we're coming into clear, decisive energy. Not only decisive, but someone who's making really good decisions, right? Because we can be decisive and make terrible decisions, but the King of Swords doesn't make terrible decisions. The King of Swords has a knack of finding what is going to be in the best and highest good of everybody involved. He is the master of negotiation. He is the master of finding the win-win solution in a situation, right? Sometimes when you're trying to approach a situation and you're trying to figure out how to go about it, King of Swords comes up to tell us, look, if you can present this, if you can present your case in a way in which you're explaining how you getting what you want benefits the other party, they're going to come on board. That might be the best approach to take. Not talk about how much you deserve it, not talk about why you would be good at it, but talk about how it would benefit them, okay? With this King of Swords energy here. How is it going to benefit them? How is it going to be in their best interest? King of Swords also comes up when we are making clear, logical decisions. We're not making decisions based on emotion. We're not making decisions out of fear or out of guilt. Okay, so some of you maybe are eliminating worrying about a situation and focusing on what is going to be best for you in your situation, and not like feeling like you have to sacrifice, or that you feel bad about what somebody else wants, but you're doing what it makes sense to do right now. King of Swords can also be a lawyer or some kind of an expert. Okay, so maybe some of you blockages are over because you're consulting an expert or an advisor, and they're giving you some advice, and they're saying you don't have to worry about this. You go in with this and this and this and this and that, and this is taken care of. So some of you may be getting through a difficult situation through counsel from some type of an expert. Okay, that can be also a message sometimes here with the King of Swords. It could be a counselor or an advisor or someone who's an expert in a field who's giving you guidance on how to move forward. If you've been thinking about seeking out an expert for something, King of Swords is telling you go for it. The next card that's coming up here for Aquarius is the Judgment card. Now, this is a Major Arcana card. Major Arcana cards don't come up willy-nilly, okay? Major Arcana cards are coming up when we're coming into a new chapter. We're coming into a very significant time in our life. The situations that we're dealing with are directly connected to what we came here to learn, how we came here to grow, how we came here to prosper, so it's going to be big life-changing stuff. They're going to be defining moments in our life. So even though I'm setting the intention to read for the week ahead, whatever energy is coming up here this week around the Judgment or having to do with the Judgment card is going to be around for a while. The Judgment card can be where you feel as though it's time to answer a calling. You may be feeling called to a certain line of work or a certain cause, or you may have this nagging feeling that you can't get rid of to get up and to start doing something. And so Spirit is saying, it's time. It's time for you to embrace that calling or embrace that guidance and begin on that project. For some of you, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all why you're being guided to do this, but it will make sense later. Okay, it will make sense later. So the Judgment card here is some of you are feeling called to do something. Judgment card can also come up when you're at a really significant crossroads in your life. And one decision will take you down one way of life, and another decision will take you down another way of life. It could be kind of extremes. And some of you have been holding on to friends or family because you felt bad about leaving them behind, but you may be realizing that this is starting to pull you down. This is starting to drag you down. So now that King of Swords is telling us you're going to stop making decisions out of guilt. You're going to stop making decisions out of feeling bad for somebody else. And you're going to do what you're being called to do. You're going to do what you're being guided to do in terms of embracing this new path. Okay? I feel some of you are really needing to connect with the element of air right now, with your element, Aquarius. You can do this through music. You can do this through incense. You can do this through just getting out and getting fresh air. I feel some of you are like needing to be in the wind. So I don't know if there's somewhere where you can go other than the beach where you might be able to do that. Not everybody lives by the beach or the lake. But I feel some of you are needing to be in the wind, you're needing to feel the wind in your face. Something about it it's almost like, it's so funny. I'm laughing because Spirit is showing me, I'm out in the desert, and so there's a lot of stretches of highway where there's big wind turbines that generate energy. They're modern day windmills, pretty much, right? But they're the big turbines, and they're spinning, and they're taking this wind and they're making it into energy. And I'm laughing because Spirit is showing me you're the turbine, you're getting recharged, you're getting amped up, you're getting charged up from being in the wind. Very interesting message. I've been reading for several years now. I've never ever, I can honestly say, never gotten this message for anybody. So I think it's interesting that it's coming up. And maybe it makes sense for some of you. I don't know, maybe you're going to go ride roller coasters or something. Maybe it's adrenaline that you're needing in some way, like feeling excited or amped up. Maybe you just need to get a fan and plug in a fan and sit in front of a fan, like have a fan blowing in your face. But something about getting charged or like amped up from wind. Very interesting. If that makes sense to any of you, or if something happens later on in the week and you're like, yeah, that's what that was about, please let me know. Please let me know, because it's such an interesting message. I've never gotten that before. Your next card here, Aquarius, is the Seven of Pentacles. And Seven of Pentacles, like, this is it, honey. This is time to roll up your sleeves and get to work with the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is a time of doing some hard work. Now, the Seven of Pentacles also tells us that this hard work is going to pay off. It's going to benefit you. It's going to bring back a positive return. But it will not be an overnight return. And you need to take this into consideration and not overwork yourself. Because if you go in the other direction, it's going to start to create losses instead of gain. So I'll give you an example. If you're going out and if you're planting a bunch of trees, right, it's going to take time for that tree to grow and, you know, deliver fruit. That's going to take a while. And that is based on the laws of physics. There's no way around that. You can't, like, fast forward a tree into growing. It's going to take however long it takes for a tree to grow. If you start going out there and if you're like, gosh, man, I'm in a hurry. I got to get this going. I can't wait anymore. Maybe I planted it in the wrong spot. Let me dig it up from here and let me move it and plant it over there. Oh, let me give it water. Oh my gosh, it's not growing. Let me go give it more water. Let me go add this. Let me go add that. You're going to kill that poor little seed before it's had a chance to even sprout, right? Or if it sprouts and you start messing with it, it's not going to be able to grow because there's too much happening. So this isn't a time to be extra. You do the work and you let the laws of time and physics do the rest. You let nature do its thing. You let spirit come in and help you and do its thing, and you stay busy with other things in the meantime. You don't just sit there and stare at it and wait for it to come up. So this is going to be a busy time. I feel also some of you have had this really big vision in terms of like a business or some kind of program or facility you've been wanting to put out there. And it's very intricate. It has a lot of different parts. And this is like keeping you from getting started. You're stalled because you're thinking of how can I get this off the ground? How can I start this? Well, you're thinking about producing a fully grown tree when you're looking at it like that. And that's not the way the tree happens. The tree is going to come up as a little sprout. Eventually, that little sprout will turn into a trunk or twig, right? That twig will turn into a stump. That will turn into other branches. Those branches will give us other branches and leaves and fruit. It branches out. It doesn't just shoot up out of the ground a fully grown tree. And you have to approach this business or this facility or this center with the same mindset. You have to start at the root and you have to let the different parts grow over time. All right, I've got this part of it going. Now I'm ready to get that part of it going. Okay, that part of it is growing. Now we're ready to branch out into that. You're not just going to go with the full, like everything all of a sudden, right? And the benefit of that is that it gives your customers or clients time to establish trust in you or like faith in you. Right? Then when you're offering this new service or you're adding this product, they're going to be like, sign me up, because you've already delivered with something else. But if you're coming with everything at once, they're like, I don't know which one to do. I don't know which one to try. I don't, so, and it's impossible to come up with everything at once. So it's okay to start with that one little sprout and build from there. Don't overwork it. Don't overdo it. Just put in the work and let time do the rest, right? We don't want to take an overly pushy approach here. You may want to check out your moon sign and your rising sign. Sometimes your moon sign and rising sign might resonate more for you than your sun sign, or at least it's letting you know what may be happening in those other areas of your life. You may need a private reading. I'm more than happy to do a private reading with you or for you if you go to the link in the description of the video, calendly.com/amethystangelite. You can schedule a private reading with me there. I am going to start doing card of the day by popular demand. A lot of people felt it's helpful to just kind of, for us to check in just for a few minutes, very quick, very brief, once a day, and kind of set the tone for the day with a daily message. So we're going to try that out, see how it goes. Be sure to check out the daily messages as well. And I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I'm wishing you all a wonderful week ahead, and I'll see you all in the card of the day in the dailies. Take care, my dears.